I've spent so many years of my life chasing something. In some cases, it was something good. A better job, new opportunities, a fresh start. But really, I was chasing a quick fix. Really from a broken childhood, loneliness, shame, and regret. As a kid, the adults I trusted most taught me that you don't really mend problems, you medicate them. So I lived what I learned.
I never really had any addiction problems. I had a beautiful family, an important job with a great salary, a big house, and fancy cars. I had everything to lose, and one day, I did lose. I lost it all. 3 shocking and totally unexpected deaths in my family left me shattered. Just 27 days after he was diagnosed with cancer, my father passed away. My stepdad died just weeks later, and after that, my best friend committed suicide. And for the first time in my life, I didn't have any answers. So I started drinking. And one thing I learned about addiction is that it doesn't care about your zip code or your bank account. And for someone like me, it creeps in during deep sorrow. And it stole everything. It changed my life forever. I decided I didn't want to live, and I even attempted to commit suicide by driving my car into some trees off the interstate. But I survived, and I'm convinced that God wouldn't let me die.
Like many others, trouble followed me wherever I went. I couldn't shake it. Even after I got help and was sober and felt stable while at Providence Home, I still look for it. I still look for trouble. Now, what I found, though, was the staff here at Providence Home, they were recognizing the signs. The signs that I ignored, but they wouldn't. They lovingly confronted me and were wondering if my troubles had anything to do with being abused. Now, at first, I denied it. I didn't want to admit it. But I was forced to finally admit that my rage was connected to years of unspeakable sexual abuse at the hands of my uncle. I was so young, between the ages of 4 and 7. The abuse went on for years. My heavy drug use and anger were symptoms of my trauma suffered at the hands of my uncle, who I never forgave. I carried this heavy load around my entire life, and it impacted everything in my path.
Men come to Providence Home directly from prisons or rehab centers, and sometimes directly from the street. Providence Home is a light in the gap, providing a landing place for men wanting stability and a second chance. The goal is to rebuild men and reunite families through the saving grace of Jesus Christ.
It's about accountability for sure. But more than anything, it's about love. I arrived here homeless, addicted, and hopeless. I remember thinking, I must get right to work, prove I'm valuable. And so they forced me to rest, and that was a gift I now treasure. It was time that God used in amazing ways. I could literally feel myself coming back together as I stayed quiet, ate well, and reflected deeply. All the while, Rob and the team poured into me. At that time, Mike was a resident here too, and he was hosting Bible studies and mentoring us. He was strong and healthy, and I thought, if he made his way back, so can I.
There's a song about being grateful for the broken road. I never thought I'd be on it. God had different plans for me. And looking back, through all the death and despair and bad decisions, I was never alone. God was my GPS. He led me to Providence Home, first to heal and now to help. He's renewing me. He even gave me a new marriage with my college sweetheart. And that's a script only God can write.
At Providence Home, it's not uncommon that men come with a history of sexual trauma and substance abuse. It's why we focus so much on the life-saving grace and forgiveness of Jesus Christ. Because without it, men like me cannot lay aside the anger and rage and shame that comes with trauma.
All those years of chasing ended when I accepted His love for me. I don't need a quick fix because Jesus gave me a perfect one. Today, I have my own car and I continue to live here on campus while I save up for my own place. I have a church home and I'm building strong bonds with my family back home. I have learned how to both seek forgiveness and to forgive. I'm now the assistant office manager at Providence Home. It's gratifying to use my skills here, to be on the front lines, serving men like me who come through our doors. I hope the new guys see in me what I saw in Mike, proof that our yesterdays don't define our tomorrows. That hope is what I chase after these days. But I don't have to run far. That hope lives here at Providence Home.